There is a popular quote: when you learn the bird's name, you stop enjoying the bird. Welcome to the club. At first glance, it sounds poetic, but if you sit with it long enough, it becomes terrifying. Because the moment you name the bird, you stop seeing it. You stop noticing the shimmer in its feathers, the patterns on its body, the vibrant colors, the sweet voice, the chaos in its flight, the miracle of something that shouldn't fly, but does. It's just a metaphorical example which tells the joy of enjoying is gone with knowledge. The moment you say, "That's a sparrow," your brain closes the book. The unknown becomes known. The mystery becomes memory. And the living thing in front of you shrinks into a label so small, you stop feeling anything at all. This quote isn't about birds. It's about life. It's about the moment knowledge replaces wonder, the moment explanation suffocates experience, the moment understanding kills joy. Because once you know, you can never unknow. And that is the curse of knowledge. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who studied illusions, every type: card tricks, sleight of hand, misdirection. He wasn't a magician, he was a scientist. And one night, he attended a magic show with his daughter. She watched, eyes wide open, gasping, clapping, smiling like the universe itself was folding into her palms. But he saw every hidden finger movement, every secret pocket, every direction the audience wasn't supposed to look. And while everyone else felt astonished, he felt nothing. The price of knowing is that it steals the ability to be surprised. Knowledge sharpens the mind, but dulls the spirit. Because once you've seen behind the curtain, you can never unsee it. Knowledge can become a cage, not made of ignorance, but of awareness. And the tragedy, you don't even notice the bars forming until you reach out and feel them. When knowledge enters the mind, it does not simply add information. It reorganizes the entire internal world. The human brain is built on the tension between uncertainty and understanding. Uncertainty allows imagination, openness, possibility. Knowledge, however, collapses that space. It replaces fluidity with structure. It replaces ambiguity with definition. And in doing so, it alters how we perceive reality itself. Psychologically, the curse of knowledge begins with a shift in cognitive processing. Before understanding, the mind relies on sensation, how things feel, how they appear, how they move through experience. But once the mechanics become known, the mind switches to interpretation. Feelings get replaced with frameworks. Experiences get filtered through categories and concepts the brain now recognizes automatically. This is why knowledge transforms perception. The mind no longer receives reality directly. It receives the meaning of reality first. The brain becomes faster, more efficient, more analytical. But in exchange, it becomes less receptive, less able to be moved, less willing to surrender to the moment without attempting to understand it. At a deeper psychological level, knowledge interrupts novelty detection, a primitive system responsible for wonder and emotional response. The more the mind learns, the more it normalizes. What once triggered awe becomes familiar. What once seemed miraculous becomes predictable. The brain stops rewarding the experience with dopamine because it is no longer new. It is simply recognized. And recognition is the enemy of astonishment. Another consequence is the weakening of cognitive empathy toward ignorance. Once the mind understands something deeply, it loses access to the mental state of not knowing. This is not arrogance, it is a neurological limitation. Memory cannot recreate the emotional experience of innocence. So the knowledgeable mind expects others to understand at the same pace, with the same clarity. This creates frustration, impatience, and misunderstood communication. Knowledge distances people, not through superiority, but through misalignment of mental states. Psychologically, knowledge also increases predictive processing. The brain builds models of the world and begins to rely on them. It starts anticipating outcomes before they occur. This makes life feel less spontaneous, less surprising, less alive. Because the mind gets trapped inside its own predictions. And predictions, by nature, leave no space for magic. Finally, knowledge suppresses affective engagement. Once the mind understands why something works, the emotional circuitry associated with mystery and awe is deactivated. The neurological reward shifts from experiencing the moment to analyzing it. Insight replaces immersion. Interpretation replaces presence. This is the heart of the curse. The mind gains clarity but loses intensity. It gains understanding but loses depth. It becomes intelligent but less enchanted with living. Knowledge sharpens the awareness while dulling sensation. And in this paradox, a part of human joy quietly disappears.
One of the greatest examples to simplify it, think about the placebo effect, the mind's ability to heal the body with nothing but belief. A sugar pill becomes strength, a drop of water becomes medicine, a thought becomes transformation. But here's the twist. Placebos stop working the moment you learn what they are. Ignorance can heal you. Knowledge can break the spell. Isn't that insane? The very thing that gives you power, your understanding, can also take power away. It's like the universe whispers, if you want the magic, you must remain a little blind. The curse of knowledge isn't just losing wonder, it's losing access to things that only innocence unlocks. Think about childhood rain. When you were young, you danced in it, you screamed, you laughed, you let the sky pour into your soul. But the moment you learned words like precipitation, water cycle, evaporation, the joy dissolved. Now rain is just weather. Knowledge stole the magic and replaced it with meaning. And meaning is the most silent killer of joy. In the end, let me ask you something most people never dare to ask themselves. Is all that knowledge you're running after really worth it? Think about it honestly. What is the point of understanding something if the price you pay is losing the joy you once had without knowing it? What exactly changes in your life if you know the bird's name? If you know the science behind rain? If you know the reasons behind how and why people lie? Does your life become better? Or do you simply stop feeling the beauty you once felt without explanation? What happens when you learn how psychology works? Why people lie, how they manipulate, why they behave in certain patterns, why they break your heart, why they disappoint you? Nothing changes on the outside. People don't change, life doesn't change, only you change. All that happens is that now you notice everything, you analyze everything, you understand everything. And that knowledge, that razor-sharp awareness is heavier, far heavier than the comfort of not knowing. You think knowledge will make you powerful, different, superior, the smartest person in the room. And maybe it will. Maybe you'll know things others don't. Maybe you'll see truths others cannot see. But there is a cost. Once knowledge reshapes your mind, you can never look at life with the same softness, the same innocence, the same wonder you had before. That world is gone. So hear this clearly. Running after knowledge will not guarantee you a happy or joyful life. Because the more you learn, the more you understand. And the more you understand, the less the world feels magical. And that is the curse of knowledge.